Next, in the heterotrophic nutrition, human digestive system. Humans, they cannot prepare their own food materials. They take the variety types of food materials. They can take proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. So how these all the complex materials are going to be digested in the human body? So there are specific organs are there. Organs, we know that complex digestive system consists of alimentary canal and several some glands are associated to this digestive system to complete the digestion process. In our digestion, there are several enzymes work together to complete the process. So what is digestion? Breakdown of food materials. Breakdown of food materials. Breakdown of food materials into very small complex molecules are going to be breakdown into very small molecule which are going to be absorbed by the body. So that much of small granules that much of small food is going to be breakdown into that much of small parts or small. Okay, first before going to start, first we will see the what are the parts are there in the alimentary canal. So this is the human digestive system. In this our digestion starts with the mouth. So in this we consist the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal. Okay. This alimentary canal starts with the mouth. Okay. Starts with the mouth and end with the anus. Alimentary canal starts with the mouth and end with the anus. If you take the mouth, what are the glands are there? We know that. So teeth are there, tongue is there, and the cavity which is there in the mouth, that is oral cavity or buccal cavity, which all these helps to digest, helps in the digestion process. These are the salivary glands. Okay, mouth, and this pipe-like structure is known as esophagus or food pipe. It is also known as food pipe. So, and from the food pipe, we take food material from the mouth, and from that we chew the food, we cut the food with the help of our teeth, and then it is going to be swallowed and passed down into the stomach. It is a stomach bag-like structure, and from the stomach it enters into long tubes, largest part in the digestive system, that is small intestine. Small intestine is the largest part in the digestive system. The starting part of the smallest, the starting point, the starting end, after the stomach, this C-shaped, this structure is known as duodenum. This is the starting point of the small intestine. In this duodenum, there are two organs, that is liver and pancreas. Leaf-like organ. It is a leaf-like organ, pancreas and liver. Here triangular shape structure is there. So that is liver. Liver and pancreas both they secrete their secretions into the duodenum. They secrete, pancreas secretes some enzymes, amylase, trypsin and lipase, whereas liver secretes the bile juice into the duodenum. Those enzymes are useful for the digestion process, and from the small intestine whatever the remaining proteins and everything is going to be absorption takes place in the small intestine. After the absorption, when they are break down into very smallest particle, they are going to be absorbed in the specific areas, that is small in the small intestine. Then whatever the undigested food materials will be there, they are sent to the large intestine. In that also useful products, if any useful products are there, they are going to be reabsorption takes place by the body, and then again waste materials are going to be sent out of the body. That is our parts of our alimentary canal. Once again, mouth, this is tube-like structure, esophagus, and the organs which are associated with the digestive system are liver and pancreas and stomach, duodenum, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. This is the chart. Flow chart is there. So go through with the flow chart. And next, so we will take each and every organ, how the digestion process goes on in each and every organ of our body. So what we said, that digestion is that is breakdown of complex molecule. We take proteins, carbohydrates, or fats, vitamins, minerals also there. So in this, how they are going to be digested our body. So our digestion starts in the mouth. Okay, our first part of the digestion is mouth. So digestion is a complex process. So it is involved by several glands and enzymes. So in the mouth, if you take the structure of the mouth, what will we say that what are we are having? So teeth are there. So inside the mouth, teeth and tongue. This jaw also helpful in the digestion process. Jaw and palate. So all these are parts help in the salivary glands. Salivary glands. In the mouth, we take the food inside the mouth, then it is by the help of teeth. By the help of teeth, it is going to be break down into what the teeth will do. They cut the food and they crush the food. So teeth are, if you observe, teeth are 4 types. How many types teeth are there? There are 4 types of teeth are there. So one is incisors, second one is canines, premolars and molars. Incisors, they cut the food. What is the function of incisor? They cut the food. They cut the food. Canines, they tear the food. In carnivores, canines are very well developed. And premolars and molars, their function is grinding the food. In our mouth, teeth are there. We eat different types of food. Sometimes there is a chance we have to tear the food. At that time, canines help. And incisors, premolars, molars, all they grind the food. All they cut the food and grind the food. And while you are cutting and grinding, we observe that our food is mixed with saliva. Food is going to be added. The liquid, colorless, watery substance is going to added our food. While you are chewing, we will feel that water. If you thought of food also, we get sometimes saliva. So where this saliva comes from? Okay, teeth helps in the, teeth are incisors, canines, molars and premolars. All those types of teeth helps in the digestion process for cutting, grinding the teeth. And tongue helps the move the food. It moves the food this side and that side. And this jaw, lower jaw helps to moving the food. And next is salivary glands are there. There are, what is the role of saliva? Saliva that contains the specific enzymes, amylase, also known as ptyalin. Tyalin. Amylase or tyalin. So in our saliva is secreted by three pairs of glands. Three pairs of glands, salivary glands. Three pairs of salivary glands are there in the mouth. They are known as, one is parotid glands. Parotid glands. So where they are located? Either sides of the ears. Either sides of the ears, these parotid glands are located. Second, either sides of ears. Next, sublingual glands. Sublingual glands. These sublingual glands are present below the tongue. Below the tongue. And third one is submandibular. Submandibular glands. So these submandibular glands are located on the angles of the jaw. Angles of jaw. Angles of where this jaw ends, angles. At that place we have the submandibular glands. Either we can say that they are present in the other sides of the jaws also. Okay, parotid glands, sublingual gland and submandibular gland. All these are the salivary glands. Three pairs of salivary glands present in our mouth. They secrete the whatever the secretions comes from the salivary glands, that is known as saliva. This saliva contains the specific enzyme that is known as amylase or tyalin. Then what is the function while you are while we grind the food or while we chew the food? At that time our food is going to be added with the saliva. So this total process is known as mastication. This process is known as mastication. And cutting of food and mixing with the saliva, total this process is known as mastication. In this mastication, so our food, the amylase enzyme, it is present in the saliva. This enzyme acts on the carbohydrates. Acts on the carbohydrates. Whatever the carbohydrates are present in our enzyme, present in our food. While you are chewing the food, your food is added with the saliva. So that saliva acts on the carbohydrates and converts them into dextrins and maltose. Maltose and dextrins. Okay, they convert them into maltose and dextrins. What is the meaning of this? Our digestion is process started in the mouth only. In the mouth, our digestion process already started. Okay, what is happening in the mouth? In the mouth, teeth are there. There are 4 types of the teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. With the help of teeth, the food is going to be cutted and it is grinded. With the help of the tongue, it is going to be mixed, and for this process our lower jaw helps. And 3 pairs of salivary glands, parotid glands, sublingual glands and submandibular glands. All these glands are going to be secreted saliva, which contain the salivary amylase or amylase enzyme, tyalin enzyme. That enzyme acts on the carbohydrates, and carbohydrates, it converts the carbohydrates into maltose and dextrins. So the food which is by adding the saliva, it become slippery. It became slippery and it is easy to swallow. Easy to swallow. The food is not going to be sent into the next part. When we swallow the food, it enters into the, by the process of swallowing. We swallow the food. Swallowing, the food enters into the next part. What is that next part? Esophagus or food pipe. The pipe helps to move the food from the next part. So from the mouth, there is a tube-like structure comes. It goes into the stomach. Okay, it moves into the stomach. So this is called esophagus. So esophagus is a pipe-like structure. Esophagus is a pipe-like structure. It is consists the mucus. Mucus inside it consists the mucus, and the slippery food which is mixed with the carbohydrate, which is mixed with the saliva, that food is known as bolus. Food in the mouth. Food in the mouth. Food. Food in the mouth. What is that? Bolus. Bolus. Now this bolus is ready to move into the next part. So throw the food pipe, food pipe or esophagus. So esophagus, it consists the mucus. The food is with the this pipe consists the longitudinal and circular muscles. Longitudinal and circular muscles. The muscles helps to move the food, move the bolus. So move the bolus, and when bolus moves in the this food pipe, it appears like a wave-like structure. It resembles like a wave. When bolus is here, if it is a food chain, this is track. This is a food pipe. When bolus is here, it is swells like this, and so now bolus is here, it swells and it is normal. Next part, it is going to swell. Why? Because the muscles which are there in that place, due to the contraction and relaxation, contraction and relaxation of longitudinal and longitudinal and circular. Longitudinal and circular muscles help the movement of food in the movement of food in the esophagus. These wave-like movements, they appear like a wave-like movements. These movements are known as peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movements. Peristaltic movements. Okay. The digested food is known as bolus. When it moves, the walls are going to be contraction, and before that relaxation. Contraction and relaxation. With that, the food enters into the stomach, next part. So contraction and relaxation of the muscles, and already the food is very slippery. It becomes slippery. It is easy to move. Easily it can guiding movement. Easily it can be go into the next part. But it has to, due to this wave-like movements which occur in the esophagus, are known as peristaltic movements. Peristaltic movements. What are the movements? Those movements appear in the esophagus during the passage of food. That is bolus. And next our organ is stomach. Stomach is a bag-like structure. Stomach. So next, now our bolus. What is that? Bolus. So bolus is in the stomach. Bolus is in the stomach. So this is esophagus. This is stomach. So these, when bolus comes into the stomach, when bolus reaches into the stomach, the walls of the stomach, these walls will be there. So these walls of the stomach, they start secretion of, they store the secretions. Some secretions comes. Secretions. gastric secretions, gastric juices, gastric juices. So the secretions which comes the stomach, they are known as gastric secretions. It contains the HCl. It is, you know, that a hydrochloric acid. The walls of, when food bolus comes into the stomach, the walls of the stomach secrete HCl. Then why they are producing the HCl? HCl have the two functions. One is it kills the bacteria which is present in the food. It kills the bacteria. So there is a chance of entering of so many bacteria through the food. So to kill, it kill the bacteria, whatever the bacteria. Nearly 2 to 3 hours food stays in the stomach. So during that time, the total food is mixed with the bolus is mixed with the acid, and it kills the bacteria. Not only that, it activates the pepsin enzyme. Pepsin. What is that enzyme? Pepsin. So pepsin acts on proteins. The walls of the stomach secretes the pepsin, which acts on the pepsin. Pepsin act on proteins. It acts on proteins and convert them into peptones. Convert them into peptones. So walls of the stomach, they secrete the HCl. What is the role? It kills the bacteria which is present in the food, and it is also activate the pepsin to digest the proteins what are present in the food. So now proteins are going to be digested. They are converted into peptones. So stomach is a bag-like structure. It is elastic in nature. So it is elastic in nature. We feel that when we eat the more food, at that time there is an increasing in the volume of this. And so this is about stomach. And next part is duodenum. So in the duodenum, whether the total food comes at a time into the next part, that is also important. The food which is digested from the stomach, total food, only some amount of food, little bit of food is going to be pushed into the next part. So not total food at a time, it is not going to enter into the next part. Only small amount of food is going to be. That is controlled by, if it is stomach, so next part is duodenum. So here the sphincters, we can say that wall-like structures are some muscle. Pyloric sphincter. It controls the entry of food. Only some amount of food is sent into the next part, because the enzymes act on very easily. They can act in the little amount of food. If they send total amount of food, it is difficult to act on each and every particle of the food. So only small amount of the food is sent to the next part. So that is controlled by the pyloric sphincter. So what is the function of the pyloric sphincter? It controls the amount, it regulates the amount of food which is going to be sent into the duodenum. Okay, which is going to be sent into the duodenum. Now the food is in the duodenum. So in these two glands, one is liver and pancreas. Whatever the secretions comes from the liver secretions are known as bile juices. Liver secretions are known as bile juices. So these bile juices, they do not have any enzymes. No enzymes. Enzymes are not there. But these bile juices, they act on fats. They act on fats, and whatever the enzyme work is, it has to cut down the food particles into very smallest ones, which can be easily absorbed by the small intestine. Absorption takes place by the body. So these bile juices act on the fats, and they make into small globules. They make them into small globules. This fats digestion is known as emulsification. Emulsification, digestion of the fats. Okay, emulsification. So our bile juice is which contain no enzyme. Bile juices contain pigments, bilirubin, biliverdin. These bile juices act on the protein, act on fats. Act on the fats. These fats are going to be break down into small globules. That is known as emulsification. Emulsification. And next organ which is associated with the digestive system, that is pancreas. Pancreas, that is leaf-like structure. It secretes the three enzymes: amylase, lipase, and trypsin. Amylase, lipase, and trypsin. Amylase act on carbohydrates. It act on carbohydrates and convert them into dextrins, maltose. Lipase acts on fats, converts them into fatty acids, and glycerol. This trypsin acts on proteins, converts them into peptones. Peptones. Okay, pancreas is going to release. Pancreas is going to release three enzymes into the duodenum. So the amylase acts on, already carbohydrate digestion is started in the mouth. If remaining food materials are there, if any carbohydrates are left, they are going to be on them. Again amylase is going to check if any food materials are there. Some people, they just swallow the food, they will not chew the food. So in those people, the carbohydrate digestion may starts in the stomach only. Okay, so amylase amylase acts on the carbohydrates and converts them into dextrins and maltose. Lipase, already the bile juices also acts on the fats and they make them into small globules. That is called emulsification. Here also lipase also acts on the fats, which converts the fats into fatty acids and glycerol. And this trypsin acts on the proteins and peptones. It acts on proteins and peptone. All this process is taking place where? In the duodenum. Where we are going to get the secretions of liver and pancreas. Pancreas and liver is going to be secretes its secretions into the duodenum. In the duodenum, further digestion process is going on. After that, the food is sent into the next part. What is the next part? Small intestine. Small intestine. Small intestine is the largest part in the alimentary canal. It is the very largest part in the alimentary canal. In this, further digestion of remaining carbohydrates, proteins and fats are going to be digested. In this, peptidases peptidases are going to be synthesized. These peptidases, they act on peptones. If you recollect once again, where we are getting these peptones are getting from proteins. When lipase or that pepsin, trypsin and pepsin. Trypsin, pepsin. Pepsin is secreted walls of stomach and trypsin is secreted by the pancreas. Both these enzymes act on proteins and they convert the proteins into peptones. On that proteins our peptidases acts and make them into amino acids. Further very small tubules, amino acids, which are going to be assimilated by the body. These are going to be assimilated by the body. So peptidases, they are secreted by the small intestine. So they act on the peptones and they convert them into amino acids. And after the total completion of digestion process, what is remaining next? Next is absorption. So the already digested food which is there, that should be absorption takes place. Absorption. So for this absorption, our small intestine consists of small finger-like structures, villi. Small intestine is, this is a tube. Small intestine is a tube-like structure. It increases the area by producing small finger-like projections. So these are known as villi. They increase the surface area of absorption. So if it is like this fat, so it is exposed to some amount of food materials. If it is like this, so the more food materials are going to be absorbed. And not only that, it consists of blood vessels. If it is there, small intestine, it consists of blood vessels. So blood vessels are present. So these digested food materials are going to be absorbed by the small intestine. So taking of food materials, taking of digested food materials by the small villi is known as absorption. Absorption. So already digested food materials are going to be absorbed by this villi. Next, so if any materials are undigested, so undigested materials, they are going to be sended. Undigested materials, large intestine, they move to the large intestine. They move to large intestine and moving out of body. So undigested food materials are going to be moving out of body through the anus. Anus, they are going to be moved through the anus, that is known as defecation. That is known as defecation. Defecation means our undigested food materials. In the digestion process, there may be undigested materials are formed. So those materials which are not digested, they are going to be sent to the large intestine. In that place also, if any food materials are to be absorbed, like water, and if any materials are going to be useful for body, they are going to be reabsorbed by the body, and waste materials are going to be sent out through the anus. That process is known as defecation. Sending of waste material through the anus is known as defecation. Absorption takes place in the small intestine. To increase the absorption area, there are structures, villi structures are there, so they increase the absorption area, and all the undigested materials, they moves into the large intestine. From that, they are going to be moved from the anus. That is defecation. This is about our digestion process. Okay. So again we will briefly explain. I will briefly explain. So this is the mouth. So from the mouth we are taking the food materials, and in the mouth there are, with the help of teeth, that is incisors, canines, molars, premolars, they are going to be cut the food, and they grind the food. They mix the food with the saliva. Three pairs of salivary glands: parotid glands, sublingual and submandibular glands. All the glands are, three pairs of glands are present in the jaws and either sides of the ears. They secrete the saliva. That saliva acts on the carbohydrates, and does the digested food in the mouth is known as bolus, that moves into the stomach through the peristaltic movement, wave-like movements. And when it comes to the stomach, the walls of the stomach secretes the HCl, which kill the bacteria and activate the pepsin enzyme. Pepsin enzyme act on the proteins and converts them into peptones. Next, small intestine. This is duodenum. In this duodenum, liver is going to secrete bile juices. That bile juices acts on the fats and converts them into small globules, is known as emulsification. Next, this liver-like structures, leaf-like structure, not liver-like, leaf-like structure is known as pancreas, which is going to secrete amylase, trypsin, lipase. Amylase, trypsin and lipase. Amylase acts on carbohydrates, trypsin acts on proteins, and lipase acts on fats. Fats are going to be converted in fatty acids and glycerols. Proteins are converted into peptones, carbohydrates, maltose and dextrins. And further they move into the small intestine. Here peptidases are going to be synthesized. Enzymes, though they act on the peptones and convert them into amino acids. And these amino acids are digested food is going to be taken by the body. Taking of digested food through the body, through the small intestine, is known as absorption. So to increase this absorption rate, there are small villi is there in the small intestine, and undigested food moves into the large intestine. If there is any undigested food, if there is any useful material, that is going to be reabsorbed by the body, and it is sent back into the anus. So undigested food material sending through the anus is known as defecation. And remember here, at the end of the stomach there are pyloric sphincter is there, which is going to send only small amount of food into the next part. Okay. Thank you.